bladder control diminishes, our loss of bone mineral, and all kinds of skin changes. There's just nothing pretty about it. I really believe the author of Genesis misunderstood God maybe when he said the curse was more increased pain at childbirth, and maybe he meant to say menopause, but because it is not the woman's friend, is it?
So many women struggle with this. Yes, we know about the hot flashes, and most women now know about the bone mineral, the loss of bone mineral that's possible. But, your brain has been used to estrogen for 40 years, maybe more, and your brain likes it. There are receptors on the brain cells that estrogen affects. Your brain cells are like looking for the estrogen in your bloodstream. And when they don't find it, your brain cells actually change some things in their functioning. And I think that's one of the bigger things that so many women struggle with at that time of life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I think we have a caller on that would like to ask you a question. Would that be okay?
I would love that, Joy.
All right. Whitney, hi. Thanks for calling the show.
Oh, hi. Thanks so much. Quick information. I'm 49, almost 50. I went through early menopause at the age of around 43. Went through it actually while I was on birth control pills, subsequent to a tubal ligation. So I didn't even know I had gone through menopause until I went off the pills. I was just taking those for some discomfort, and found out after a few hot flashes that I was post-menopause. Well, fast forward about 6 years, and in the past, 8 months or so, every few months, I'm going through all the symptoms of ovary pain and cramping and nausea, all the premenstrual pains that you go through that are lovely every 28 days, however, with no menstruation. And then I found out that even after menopause, there is still, the ovaries can still be active. So have my ovaries come out of hibernation for a while? Am I having to look forward to a brand new menopause?
Well, that's a great question. And you said you're 49. Yes. The average age of menopause is around 50 or 51. So what I think probably happened with you is that your ovaries pretty much stopped at whatever age they did while you were using birth control pills, but there was still a little bit of ability for them to function. And now that you're having some symptoms every month, there may be a few egg cells left. And this is kind of your ovaries' last hurrah, so to speak, in trying to produce some estrogen. If you were coming to me as a patient, one of the things that I would suggest is that we do a few blood tests to see what your current hormone environment is right now. Things like your FSH level, your estrogen level, and it may be that a short-term trial of some medication now would help.
Okay. I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in, Whitney. And Dr. Carol, you just sit tight. Can we do that so we can bring you back? All right. We'll be back with more of Dr. Carol Tanksley today. Dr. Carol's Guide to Women's Health. Take charge of your physical and emotional well-being. It's a wonderful book, and you can see why, because we're having a great show with her. Don't go away.
WFIA, The Spirit.
The real estate market is hot right now. Are you thinking of buying or selling your home in this market? Do you have any questions about preparing your home to sell? Are you even thinking about real estate investing? Do you have questions about financing a piece of property, or should you refinance your current home? Let me assist you in all of your real estate needs. Hire the hardest working real estate agent you'll ever meet, Elizabeth Monarch with Keller Williams Louisville. When the time comes to making that important decision of buying or selling your home, call me. I want to be your realtor. Search for All Homes at ElizabethMonarchGroup.com. Like me on Facebook. That's Elizabeth Monarch with Keller Williams Louisville at 502-551-1286. ElizabethMonarchGroup.com, the hardest working real estate agent you'll ever meet.
Imagine a vacation specifically designed for your spiritual growth and enrichment, along with 5-star accommodations, beautiful scenery, historic sites, and a community of people committed to you having a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Join us this fall on a 15-day all-inclusive Mediterranean cruise with Pastor Alistair Begg and visit thrilling stops in Naples, Jerusalem, Rome, and more. It's the Footsteps of the Apostles Mediterranean Cruise. Come and experience sites like the Sistine Chapel, the historic Western Wall in Jerusalem, and the beauty of the Isle of Santorini, all during one trip with like-minded travelers. Register today to sail the pristine Mediterranean waters in luxurious accommodations and follow in the footsteps of the apostles to Athens and Ephesus. With special guests and resident teaching Pastor Alistair Begg, this cruise is sure to be inspiring and refreshing. The Footsteps of the Apostles Mediterranean Cruise is happening September 22nd to October 9th. To register, visit footstepsoftheapostles.com. That's footstepsoftheapostles.com.
Hey, Bill Bennett here to tell you about Augusta Precious Metals. What if you could store your IRA or your 401k where you can see, touch, and hold it in person in the form of physical gold and silver coins? I know I would, and you can't do that with stocks. But with the Augusta Gold and Silver IRA, you can transfer retirement savings into physical coins and store them where you can see them anytime. Free shipping, zero management fees, and Augusta pays all upfront costs. Getting started is absolutely free. Rated A+ with the Better Business Bureau, enjoys a 98% 5-star satisfaction rating with TrustLink.org. You can trust Augusta. Call toll-free 1-855-222-6993 now for your free guide to Augusta Gold IRAs. Call toll-free 1-855-222-6993. That's 1-855-222-6993. Or visit AugustaPreciousMetals.com.
You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
Dr. Carol Peters-Tanksley has her pulse on women for sure. Her book is just replete with women's health issues, dealing with cancer issues, osteoporosis, many diseases that as we age, we unfortunately face, heart disease and other things. But Dr. Carol, I love it because you even chose to do a chapter on looking younger. It is something that we women chase. And, I'll let you address what you think God feels about that, because you do talk about preserving your skin and how to stay younger looking. Do you think that God frowns upon that, or how does he feel about that?
I think God enjoys it when we're happy and when we look our best. I think it's a matter of priorities. And thanks for bringing this up, Joyce, because a lot of us women, we do put some effort and sometimes some time and money into our appearance. And I don't think that God looks down on that unless that is taking from our focus on other things that we need to be doing. There's some wisdom here. The staying younger, longer health practices that are going to make a bigger difference are really not what we put on our skin. It's what we put inside. Mm-hmm. The water that we drink, the unprocessed food that we eat, the exercise. Exercise is one of the best stay young medications ever. And so we want to put the majority of our time and effort and money into those things, and then with what we have available, sure. There was a very sad, I thought, summary from Consumer Report about all the billions of healthcare products that we use to keep younger, longer, and put on our skin, and their summary was, quote, "Alas, we were underwhelmed." Yes. So much of this may make minuscule differences, and we spend a lot of money on these products.
Some $260 billion yearly.
I was amazed when I saw that number. Incredible. I could hardly believe it myself. Mm-hmm. But amazing. If we would put just even 10% of that into healthier food, lots of water, and exercise, we would be a lot healthier and we would look a lot younger.
And you talk about smoking, and I know that some people are saying, Joyce, did you have to go there? But, smoking does age us. It really does, and it's just not healthy.
If vanity is the final straw that lets you take that really difficult but important step of quitting, then let it be so. You're right. Smoking, by the time a woman is middle-aged, around 40 or 50, physiologically, a woman is about 10 years older if she smokes than if she doesn't. And you can tell by the skin, by looking. Quitting smoking is hard. I watched my husband quit. He successfully quit, but it is tough. I have an appendix in the back of the book to give women some help if they need to take that important step. It's not easy. But it's worth doing.
It certainly is. You, as I said, you've just covered the gamut of issues in this book. You even talk about, is this test necessary? And, we are inundated, and healthcare has really changed. And what they're going to pay for, what they're not going to pay for. And so we're a little bit reluctant sometimes to go for those costly tests, but are pap smears and mammograms, especially colonoscopies, are they as necessary as they push?
Not always. There has been some changes in the recommendations and scientific data behind some of these tests where we may not have needed them all as often as we thought. And I have some pretty specific suggestions of how I look at the medical science behind these on each one of these tests. Who should have a pap smear and how often? Who should have a mammogram and how often? The way I personally recommend. But you've brought up a point that I want to mention here, Joyce. Not only do I believe that women should take charge of their health, I believe they should take charge of their health care also. We have had so many changes in the healthcare system in this country. Some people say they have been helpful. Some people say they have been very harmful. Some people have health insurance now that didn't before. Some people are finding it much harder to connect with a doctor. And a lot of money out of your own pocket for medical care, even if you do have insurance. So I have some specific suggestions about how to look at your health care also. The kinds of questions to ask for your doctor, how you can negotiate health care costs at times, and so on. And I think that is just as important to understand that we can take charge of our health care also.
And you even address evaluating and using supplements. It's a really big issue now. A lot of people, I hear, they're because we are taking charge of our health and we are being more proactive, and we want to do it the natural way. And so the alternative is to put supplements in where we're not getting the appropriate vitamins from foods because our soil has changed, and that's obvious. That's part of our problem today. But we should be wary somewhat of supplements, shouldn't we?
Supplements can interact with food. They can interact with each other. They can interact with medications, and they can have side effects because they come from a natural source, from a plant source generally. It's easy to think that they're safe and effective. That isn't necessarily always the case. So I do believe that supplements have a very important role in good health. But I think it's important to be thoughtful and wise, buyer beware, so to speak. If you are getting your information about which supplements to purchase only from the company that is promoting them, think of follow the money, who gets the benefit. So when you choose supplements, you want to look for some trusted sources that have nothing to gain from whether or not they recommend this particular supplement. And I do I have my list of supplements that I recommend in the book and describe specifically why these and not others.
Oh, it's so inclusive. Everything. It's an incredible book, and you even lead us out with get some sleep. Take care of yourself, slow down, learn to feed yourself. I can't say enough about this book, Dr. Carol, and the time that you have divested to put into this. It's incredible. Tell us a little bit about how we can just resource you, because you're quite a fascinating individual.
Well, thank you, Joyce, and it's been such an honor to spend this time with you and with your listeners. I would love to invite your listeners to come visit my website.